Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, we saw a little bit of continued balance followed by a upside breakout and a move up into the 86 to 88 resistance zone where responsive sellers have been active on first test. At this point, heading into the open, we know that the buy side is more dominant and in control. 86 to 88 is the short-term resistance that needs to be taken out in order for the buyers to continue being in control. On the downside, we have support at 78 to 80 half, and as long as ES is holding above initial support, the buyers can still continue to be in control. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that today is a US holiday, it's Veterans Day, and even though the markets are open, the banks are closed, and the volume can be fairly light. And that means the price action can be somewhat choppy. And for that reason, you want to be conservative on the trades you do take and at least get relatively good trade location on the trades that you're taking, just because the reward potential may not be as high today. And the character of price action can also be a bit slow and sluggish. So it can take some time for the trade to actually work out. And for that reason, you want to be a little bit more careful with the spot that you're getting in at. At the same time, the target on the trade should not be too far out. It would be better to shoot for a perhaps 5 to 8 point target as opposed to looking for a very extended move. So above 86.88 we have resistance at 96.75 to 99, but if the volume remains light, there may not be enough range potential to actually reach that zone on the day time frame. So that's something we'll have to see once the market opens up, see if there is a pickup in volume, but in the event of a breakout above 86.88, it's a good idea to take profit by 93.5 or 93.75, the naked VPOC and open gap above, instead of pressing for a move into 96.75 to 99. So the main theme today, as far as execution goes, is going to be conservative entries and conservative exits. So no chasing, no taking any aggressive trades, at aggressive trade location, unless there is very clear-cut momentum. But even then, you really want to be pretty careful where you're entering the market, because on a low volume day, there is lower probability of continuation following directional movement. So if you get a 5 or 7 point directional move, that may be it in the short term. And then the market can balance and chop around before it makes another swing. So for that reason, you want to be pretty conservative on the entries as well as the exits. So on the downside, 78 to 80 half is a good zone to enter long. That's the gap fill and the breakout area as well. Below that, we have 75, 76, which we'll be using as the micro bull bear zone. So the idea is, as long as ES is holding above 75, 76, the buy side can still technically maintain control, and we can still go back up towards 86 to 88. A break below 75, 76 would tell us that at least on the smaller time frames, ES is relatively weak, and from there we can pull back to 68 quarter to 70, 75, and responsive buyers can still defend that zone, and the market can go back up to 75, 76, and 78 to 80 half. So a break below 75 to 76 does not necessarily mean that it's going to be a liquidation type market, because the volume is very light, and the same rules apply to the downside. So if the market breaks on the downside, it's very unlikely that it'll just continue selling off. Because of that light volume, buyers can step in at 68 quarters, 70, 75, and then turn ES back around, and that can be the end of the downside move. And the range would be quite exhausted by then as well. So, right now we know that the market is overall still trading within a balance, within a very defined balance. Short term, we have broken out above the balance from the last couple of days, and in order to maintain that breakout, ES should hold above 78 to 80 half, and then a break above 86 to 88 would just further confirm the buyers in control and bring the 93 half to 93.75 area into play as a target, as well as an area where sellers can be active. So those are really the main ideas heading into the open. Again, conservative entries, conservative exits. Keep an eye on the momentum and the volume situation to see if there is a pickup in volume. but overall we want to be more cautious and more selective today on the trades that we do take. So those are our main thoughts. Let's see if the buy side can maintain control, and we'll take it from there.